Hey there, my dear friends. I hope you've all been healthy and that up to now, your spirits have been high and your hearts have been in a good place. Welcome to another episode of Cronus Videos for Kids. Thanks so much for joining. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll know whenever I upload a new video. You'll get the notification right away. Check it out, enjoy, and let's get right into today's video. Today, I want to talk about setting up your mouse, keyboard, and joystick on Cronus, both in Zen Studio and in game. I'll be explaining it to you using Warzone as the example game. There aren't really any major differences. Just pay close attention to a couple of things in any game where you want to play with mouse and keyboard. So, as usual with Cronus, we connect it from the right side using a Type-C port to the device that has Zen Studio installed. So as you can see, Cronus is connected and the account has appeared. So guys, in order to connect our mouse and keyboard joystick to the device, we obviously need to identify the ports. The port where the regular USB comes in from the left side of the device. That's what it's called. That's specifically for when you're on a console, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. It needs to be connected. That means only when you want to play on your console with a joystick, it should be connected to the left side of the device. But when you want to play with a joystick on your PC or gaming PC, it needs to be connected to these two USB ports at the bottom of the device. Because if you connect it to this side, it obviously won't be detected. And after a few minutes, it'll start bothering you and disconnect. So when you want to play with a joystick on your gaming PC, you absolutely have to connect it to one of these two USB ports at the bottom. Now, at this moment, when you find yourself wanting to play your favorite games with a traditional mouse and keyboard setup on your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox Series 10 console, you have to connect your joystick to the left side of the device and plug your mouse and keyboard into the USB ports at the bottom of the device. Now, when you want to play on your gaming PC with a mouse and keyboard, under no circumstances should you connect the joystick to either the left side or the bottom, because by default, you're a PC player. Any game you run on PC will recognize you as a mouse and keyboard player by default, meaning it detects the mouse and keyboard port first. So, when you want to play with mouse and keyboard using Cronus on your gaming PC, you should only connect the mouse and keyboard to these two USB ports at the bottom of the device. That was about the ports, which I just explained to you. Now, for every game, the Cronus company itself has provided some default explanations. For example, when you go to the Cronus support website, if you look down on the left side, you'll see it says mouse and keyboard. When you click on it, it opens up, and they've explained everything step by step. It explains to you what steps you need to take. Now, when you click on Import Game Profile, you'll see it starts the process. All the games for which Cronus itself has explained mouse and keyboard settings and written out the configurations are listed here. For example, Apex, Back to Blood, I Don't Know, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2042, 3, 4, 5. As you scroll down, you see games like Warzone, Call of Duty, DayZ, or Destiny, Fall Guys, Far Cry 6. These have been added by Cronus themselves. For some of the games, they put the mouse and keyboard settings right here. Not all games are here. For example, if I click on Apex, you'll see it's been added here. Guys, they'd given instructions, like for example, if you're using a Logitech G mouse, set your DPI to 4000, and they've also said that when you want to play on console, Xbox or PlayStation, you should press that rate button. Set it to 250 Hz. But if you're playing on Windows or PC, set the rate to 1000 Hz. Now, I'll explain this DPI and Hertz to you in the section where I want to review the mouse or talk about its settings. I'll explain everything to you about what each thing does. Further down, when you come to these settings, guys, you'll see in the game settings it says to set your look dead zone to small, set it to linear, and set the sensitivity as follows. Set your sensitivity to 7 or 8, and set your ADS sensitivity to 7 or 8 as well. These aren't mandatory for you to set. They're just defaults or recommendations that, for example, the Cronus company suggests as being better. Now, a lot of people say, we want to change the settings based on the movement, the visuals, or the feeling you get from your mouse and keyboard. There's absolutely no need to use this setting. We can easily skip it. Here, these game packs are version 1, which is what's provided here. As we scroll down, we see that they've given a full explanation, like, for example, what to set for X and Y sensitivity aim, and so on. And they've explained this in the game pack section up here. If you pay attention, they've listed the regions here. They've included some games. Again, for example, here for Apex, they haven't explained mouse and keyboard. But when you go to the section 4, Call of Duty Warzone 4 Beam 2, when you open it, here they've explained about the mouse and keyboard. Again, I'm saying it's not mandatory to set these up. This is just what the Cronus company itself recommends as the better option to set. Of course, for many people, maybe the settings for mouse and keyboard or for the Sins ID aren't comfortable. So that was it for the settings that Cronus itself has provided, whether for joystick or for mouse and keyboard. They've explained it to you, and now when you go into the program itself, for example, I went into the programs section. I've put Apex and Warzone here. So for example, if I'm playing Apex or Warzone today, I'm going to explain the Warzone part for you. In the devices section, as I told you guys before, remember that here you need to detect your joystick, mouse, and keyboard for yourself. Which device do you want to play the output on? I want to play on PC, so naturally I set this to remote slot change. On the same PS and share, which are those buttons, remember that. I had told you on the PlayStation console, I said PS means this, and the share option is this one. You can set it to either of these two, or here, you can set its default. You can change it, set it to disable, set it to PSNL 3, or whatever else. For me, it's easier to set it to PS and share, and the output I want to play on later, I want to play on PC, or a gaming PC. It says PC and mobile, so I select this here. Now, first of all, I want to connect my joystick, mouse, and keyboard to it. The first thing I do, guys, is I take the dongle from my joystick, and when I just want to detect it in the program itself, I take the joystick dongle and plug it into the left side of the device. You see? Look, it turned green, then it turned off. After a few moments, it turns green. If it doesn't, guys, you go to the device. You press this Reset Device button. Wait a few moments, guys, and you'll see it starts blinking a few times. Pay close attention. Here in the program itself, since my joystick, which I connected, guys, directly to the Cronus. It's a PlayStation 4 joystick. Notice in the image, it shows the PlayStation console 4. It didn't show the console, and instead it displayed the gamepad, or joystick, which, as you can see, is a PlayStation 4 joystick. Alright, now I want to connect my keyboard, which uses a USB to it. I'm plugging it into one of these lower ports on the device. See, the program easily recognized the keyboard and it turned green. If you see that it doesn't turn green or isn't detected, just easily click this Reset Device option again. See, the PlayStation 4 console has nicely recognized both the joystick and the keyboard. Now I want to connect my mouse, which is Bluetooth, to the Cronus. Look, I take the USB dongle. I connect it to one of the lower ports. See, it recognizes everything perfectly. Again, guys, look, even my mouse turned on. All my lights are green. It's detected, just like that, without any problem. Now I set it to the PC/mobile output, and once again I hit Reset Device, so it loads up properly. Let's see. Guys, PlayStation, joystick, mouse, and keyboard, I'm setting this one to the PC/mobile output too. Alright, let's move on to the next step, guys. Look, to keep things from getting messy here, disconnected the cables. But as you can see, guys, in the mouse and keyboard settings section, it has recognized our PlayStation 4 controller here. And it's also recognized the mouse and keyboard here. And just like I told you, by default, the Cronus company itself has already set up some buttons for us here. For example, L2, which is ADS, becomes the right click. So when you right click your weapon, for instance, in Warzone, it zooms in, and with R2, which is the left mouse button, you shoot. Now, it has set it up so that, for example, here it says X is space for jump and circle is C, for example, when you want to crouch. Or now, for example, circle becomes C for sliding. These have all been defined here. And then there's a sensitivity that's really, really, really high. He said he set the layout here as the default and put it here. For example, 15, 1.0300, 13, 13, and so on. And you see, it's all natural. Also, when you go in, it's set up some buttons and has specified the defaults for us here. Now guys, I wrote a mouse and keyboard for my own music, and I'll tell you where to download it from first, okay? Guys, those who join the Discord channel or Telegram, which I'll show you now, how can you join? When you enter the channel, right here it says guys, there's a link. When you click here and scroll down, you'll see guys, Discord, Telegram, and YouTube. Super easy. You click and you'll join my Discord and Telegram. First of all, I'm talking about Discord, guys, join in. Once you're in Discord, you'll see I've organized a few sections here. For example, at the top, if I need to give you any information, I'll share it with you here. There's a PC section where I've talked about settings, like Windows and stuff, and also about the game Red Dead. And about printers too, Warzone and Painter games, which are kind of combined here as well. I've also come here and explained each game, like Apex or Warzone, in their own sections. Here you can see I've written mouse and keyboard. When you click on the mouse and keyboard section, you'll see that I've personally written the settings file here. Mouse and keyboard for Apex are trash. You download this, and these are the same settings that the Cronus website has provided, or you can get them in the same way. In the Warzone mouse and keyboard section, you can see here I've written file. Mouse and keyboard settings for Call of Duty Warzone. You download it, and again, these are basically the same settings. You could say it's the in-game settings that the Cronus company itself has provided and says to use. And also, the guys on Telegram who join Alison's channel, you can see it there too. Now, the latest files that I've uploaded for you guys, pay attention, I've written it down. Download the Apex Legends mouse and keyboard settings. Above, where you come in, I've written download. And the Warzone mouse and keyboard settings, which you can easily download. Because guys, I've set up and shared the mouse and keyboard configs for you when you play on PC with mouse and keyboard. Guys, thanks a lot for sticking with me until the end of the video. I hope this video is useful for you and that you enjoy it. Definitely join the Discord channel and the Telegram channel for your friends, because I post a lot of info there and it's much easier. So it'll be more accessible for you, and you can download things quickly and enjoy it! Thank you so much. I'd really appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Turn on notifications so whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified right away and can watch and enjoy it. And have fun. First, get rich, and second, stay healthy. And you know you're my love. Until the next video, goodbye.